Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again, I'm your host, Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and theatrical horror movies. Each week, the Gruesome Magazine Grue-Crew will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing Baghead, streaming on Shudder, beginning April 5th, 2024. Oh, boy, oh, boy, boy. All right, starting off, let me introduce the crew, starting off with the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm here.
Hey.
It feels like a long time for some reason.
I'm good. It was only a week.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, you have to show
Weird.
up for 80s, Crystal.
Oh,
damn.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
that's fair.
there's where those icy eyes are coming from. All right. Also joining this week is Crystal Queen,
Just
the Living Dead
kidding.
Girl. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm good.
No, yeah. Are you?
I should have got a bag to put over my head.
Oh no,
See, that would have been
No,
funny.
never.
Because it kind
young
of looks
lady.
like the Jason,
I
bag.
do. I have
Okay.
a Freddy pillowcase.
What? Yes, that's actually really funny.
Does
Okay,
it have a
that
little
would've
hole
been
in it?
awesome. Yeah.
Oh.
No.
All right, moving on. Also joining this week is award-winning filmmaker Christopher
G.
G. Mohr.
What's up?
What's
It's good when you can have the name of your horror film to probably the same name as the porn version. So, just saying.
Yeah. That's fair. Sure.
Wow. Okay, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. No, we are going to,
Big Head might be.
we're going to give you our first impressions.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
first
Yep.
impressions are going to be spoiler free, and then we're going to dive into a discussion about the film. We might get into spoilers. I guess there are spoilers to be had, and then we'll wrap things up with our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene.
Favorite scene. Okay.
And we hope you enjoy not only this review of this film, but other reviews that we have on the site. And if you do, please hit the like, subscribe, and share with a friend buttons. Every click of those buttons will help us find another horror fan just like you. All right, oh yeah, I'm just gonna wing it. Let's go. All right, next is The Card, Baghead, 2023, available streaming on Shudder beginning April 5th, 2024. Synopsis is: a young woman inherits a rundown pub and discovers a dark secret within its basement. Baghead, a shape-shifting creature that will let you speak to lost loved ones, but not without consequence. It's directed by Alberto Corredor, written by Christina, Pamies, and Bryce McGuire. Based on the short film written by Lorcan Reilly. The cast includes Freya Allen, Jeremy Irvine, Ruby Barker, Peter Mullen, and Ann Mueller. Did I say something wrong?
It's Freya. It's cool.
Freya, what did I say?
Yeah, I don't know what you said.
All right. It was
Something
Freya.
opposite.
Something
Yeah.
that wasn't Freya. All right. There you go. Well, I've never done that
It's
before.
fine.
Ever.
It's fine.
All right, let's get into it. Let's find out what our first impressions are, starting off with Jeff Mohr. Jeff, sir, what was your first impression of Baghead?
Okay. So I kind of, how do I say this? I had a lot of problems with the story, but I love the look and the atmosphere and the feel of the movie. There was just a lot of things in the story that seemed like kind of arbitrary setups, although that happens a lot now that I think about it. Anyway, I enjoyed the actors. I enjoyed the setting, and the cinematography. I thought was great. It's very dark in a lot of this movie, but it was well shot so that you could see what was going on. It wasn't anything where you felt like I was getting screwed out of it. So, yeah, and I thought they did a good job with the, I just complained about the sort of the mythology of this, but at the same time, I think they did a good job with Freya Allen's character, Iris, of showing her sort of progress through this without, I'm trying not to give too much away, so I should probably stop, but I enjoyed it and I thought it was pretty creepy.
Pretty creepy. I like that. Crystal Cleveland, you're up next. What was your first impression of Baghead? Baghead.
So Freya is a Norse goddess, by the way, just so you know. That's like it matters. But
Okay.
I do love Freya in this, but I love The Witcher, and she plays Ciri in The Witcher, so that's great. I think the cinematography here is quite nice. I like the set design. I think the whole pub and the other parts of that building look great. I don't have a single problem with that. Costumes, fine. I think the acting is good from most of the people involved. Actually, I think I didn't have a single problem with any of them. And I agree with Jeff. My issue is the story. And there's a lot to have issue with the story. So here's the thing about filmmaking. You can't have all highs throughout an entire movie because then you don't feel the highs. If you don't have the highs and the lows and the highs and the lows, then everything gets muddled and lost. And there is a lot to the story, and a lot. Like I feel like they overdid some of the stuff, with the story. Like some of it could have just been left out. There's a lot of exposition that is thrown at us, but there's also a lot of things with the story with her and her father, her and her friend, the other dude and his wife, and the other dude with his mom. And like, there's just all these different stories. It's a little bit too much, and it feels like it's too much, and it feels overwhelming because of that. And like I said, literally you're hitting highs almost one after the other after the other. We don't have any real downtime here.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, when I was thinking about my favorite scene, I'm like, I don't know what. There's some stuff that's good, but it gets lost because there's something that comes right after it that's just trying to. I had a difficult time with this film when I first saw it, and I couldn't quite put my finger on why. And watching it this time again, it was a little bit easier to see that it just has high, 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 high. And there's nothing to really like get high about when you're kind of just at that level. I hope that makes sense. And also the ending, there's a point where I guess you're supposed to see, there's a montage, I guess, that we're supposed to feel something and be like, oh, that's wonderful and brilliant. Totally doesn't work. Totally doesn't work.
Oh no.
And no, like it was not, that was not, I feel like they were trying to say that makes sense as to what happened, but it didn't actually. Also, I did mention the cinematography was good, and it was. However, they also reused a lot of shots. Like I didn't need to see every single photo on the wall every few minutes to like cut in. But overall, the film is a quality film. It's done well. It just doesn't hit right for me. So I think it's mid.
It sounds like a near miss. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Christopher G. Mohr, sir, what was your first impression of Baghead? Baghead.
I don't think that's how that's pronounced. Because it's not a musical doc.
No.
No, I thought visually, for the most part, the cinematography is. I mean, talk about using the framing device where people are trapped within the frame of scenes. They do that a lot. There's a lot of canted angles. There's a lot of visually. And I feel like there's elements that are very creepy. I think this film falls prey to the evil spirit of a great idea, but how do we tell a story using that idea? I wouldn't say that I would totally agree with Crystal's highs all the time, because I feel like there are highs and there's lows, but there's also boring spots where they don't know what to do with how the story plays out. And then it's almost like there's times like, we need to pad this out. So we're going to use a lot of stock photos so this one ghost can tell this whole story of how this all happened. Yeah. And it felt like I was watching a YouTube video where they find all these stock photos to tell it. And then also the montage at the end, which is like, I felt like I was watching an M. Night film where there's not really a twist.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
just-
That's
it's like,
exactly.
Let me
yes.
over-explain to you what we already know. So this film becomes a little bit over an hour and a half. Not to make fun of it, because I really feel like there's some really creepy. There's parts that gave me goosebumps, and I think the sad part is, if you could elicit that or create that, why couldn't you do the other things? And also, you know, and then we have, and I thought all the actors did a great job. That the Freya, she was amazing. Although her character, I was like, this character's so stupid. She keeps making all these. It's like you're told all these things. I'm not going to listen to any of it.
Of course not. Of course not.
I'm just going to trust everybody. No wonder you're homeless, girl. But
don't feed Baghead after midnight. I remember.
Yeah. It was like, don't give her gremlins, because all of London will be full of gremlins. But I don't know. I also will say, and maybe it's just the nitpick in me, there's a lot of visual effects that don't work. I mean, you can tell, like, oh, we don't have the budget to actually have a lot of fire stuff, so we're going to use a lot of CGI fire. And then there's some really bad CGI stuff towards the end that really bothered me. Maybe it's just because they ran out of budget, and I can understand that. But it kind of, because there's some stuff early on where you get to sort of see, without giving too much away, there's one where you see like the thing walk on the ceiling for the first time. I was like, oh, that's kind of creepy. But then later on, it's like, oh, this looks like a bad Spider-Man movie. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good stuff in this film, but I think the main thing, how it plays out, because it tries to follow those beats where you have, okay, we have this mystery, let's find out more about this mystery. But then it's like they kind of just the moment where they're going to try to reveal more, like, we're just going to throw that to the side. It's almost like the spirit of this movie took control of the story. And let's get rid of all this. Let's focus more on me. But yeah, there's some really great moments, especially involving what they do with Baghead and stuff. I think it's very effective. But I think the biggest evil is how the story plays out, because it doesn't do the effective creepy moments justice. Because if it doesn't play out if it doesn't play out in a certain way where it kind of makes sense, then it just feels like, oh, we have this really cool concept, we don't know what to do with it. So I mean, not to say I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think I think just story wise, I felt kind of disappointed in how they utilize it and how they play it out, because then it just feels like the normal beats you'd finding things, and it kind of simplifies it to the point where there's not really much to it, you know. So anyway, that's my long first impression.
Yeah, my first impression isn't terribly far off from you guys. I think I may have enjoyed it quite a little bit more, the story wise anyway. For me, the big problem is that thematically, not in the specifics, but thematically, a lot of this was done in the movie Talk to Me. In a lot of ways, where you have a spirit that can contact you through an object. In this case, it's the Baghead character. There's a limit, there's a time limit that you can do it, or else you're in trouble, and all that. There's a lot of similarities to it. At least that's what I was thinking of as I was watching it. But yeah, I guess the story is where it does. I didn't really think about that. And I was wondering why it didn't quite register 100% with me, because there's a lot going on here that's really good. The concept of the Baghead character is really cool, and I think visually executed really well. I'm not sure the backstory is all that 100%, but at the same time, it worked enough for me. I thought the cinematography was fantastic. I thought the direction was really strong, and the acting I really enjoyed. I liked every character. I thought Freya it was really good, Freya, and then Peter Mullen, I like him quite a bit. I mean, he was in Westworld. He had a great role in Westworld. But I like it. He's a character actor, and I've in a bunch of films, and he's really good. So I like this cast. I like the idea. I like this. I like the location. For a bit, I liked the setup where this girl basically, had been abandoned by her father and had been raised in a foster home and basically had nothing. And then when she found out that her father left her this place, she's looking for an out. Of course, it's not the one she wants though. And then there's other people involved, her best friend, and then the one guy that knows about Baghead and wants to contact his ex-wife, or his dead wife, not his ex-wife, but his dead wife. And that's fair, other than her father, who, is in the beginning of the film, and then maybe a shot here and there, trying to downplay it. There's not really. I mean, so that's it. So it's a small cast, and the budget does bite it in the butt, like you said, with the fire. The CGI fire is rather awful, but at the same time, I'm looking at going, I get it. You can't really afford that. That particular fire gag would be a hell expensive to run down this building. That's probably a fire hazard in and of itself, if it's real. So I get it. And it's also easy. It's also safe, and safety, of course, is a big concern when you're on a set. So I don't disparage the film because of the CGI effects, but it doesn't, as Chris was saying, there are some other spots. But to me, I wasn't entirely bothered by any of that in the end. And I did like the ending of it. I know you guys are but they do have this the twist. I like that it had a dour ending. It didn't quite want to go out on a happy note. I enjoyed that. So
that wasn't my problem. That part.
No, I don't mind it being dour.
All right.
Yeah, no, it was the montage thing, like I talked about. That was like, okay.
All right. Well, so let's get into the spoilers. That's my take. And so the montage you're talking about, and we aren't spoilers, is basically how Baghead was kind of directing everything along the way. The witch, yeah. And
which was silly.
Which I kind of figured that's the whole thing.
Yeah, like what?
They tell you throughout the whole movie, she gets in your head and controls you.
I know. That's exactly what happened.
And then they showed it all along. See, let me tell you, I cannot stand films that treat their audience like they're stupid. And I will tell you one specific moment where it absolutely does. Literally, we see the dude pour the Ambien into his hand and give them to her. And yet after she wakes up, they have to show it to us again. Like we didn't understand what happened. Like we literally just saw it. We literally just saw this dude take Ambien and give it to her.
I didn't know that's what it was. I mean, I knew it was something to knock her out, but I didn't know it was Ambien.
They show you the side of the bottle before you.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they showed it when she looked at it.
No, they show it when he pours the pills out. They actually
pouring
show
it
out,
okay.
and it says Ambien right on the side.
And I'm like, yeah, it's very obvious. And he's like, it's just something to help you relax. Like those sorts of things.
Is that an editing choice though? I mean, is it editing a problem in this film?
I think it's more just well, I mean, I guess they're trying to show that she understands that
she learned it.
Yeah, but I almost feel like that she would have been. I felt like she would have why did I go to sleep? Oh crap! I felt like there should have been a little bit more agency on her part in general. Like what?
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's part of it too. I'm like, well, what are you giving me? Like, oh okay. We're just. I guess I just go, okay. And yes, I agree with the editing, because what I would say is when they do start to show all those pictures on the wall, like they mean nothing to us. We get it. Okay. These are people that owned, Baghead before or whatever, but it just means nothing. I don't know if they're trying to make it feel like a grander story, but it doesn't hit. It doesn't work.
Well, and then we have the whole thing where she finds the whole like murder string thing on the wall, trying to
murder string.
Yeah, like when people are trying to figure out who the murderer is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they had when she
that her dad
when the other girl goes into the house and stuff, and then she takes all of it. It's like there's
Yeah.
it's not used for anything. It's just a waste of space, other than just her giving her a reason for the other girl to go back to the house. But I thought we'd go back to that, but it's like, no, it's just another red herring that doesn't really matter on the
well, I thought it showed the motive. It showed the intent of the guy that was the solicitor.
Yeah.
Is all.
There was a little bit more to him.
It was like the smoking, or the dude who comes back as a smoking man, which is kind of awesome.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
X-Files. X-Files. Yeah.
Yes, that's so funny.
Mulder's father. I was like, "Whoa, it's a smoking man."
I didn't even think about that. That's hilarious. I did enjoy.
I was okay with this, with the montage. I was okay with the pictures. I just felt like, I mean, yeah, we see lots of pictures up there, but I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. But the thing that bothered me was in the setup. Number one, her girlfriend is supposed to, like, she's either a lawyer or going to law school or something, but she tells her, don't do anything till I get here.
Yeah. And she constantly she's doing.
And then here's a tape with instructions. Do I look at it before I do anything? I'm just so damn
Why would you do that?
grubby, hungry for money. I mean, the guy would have. So those two things bothered me. I'm like, instructions.
Well, not only that, Jeff, her dad told her, Jeff, don't go past the hole. Period.
Yeah. And she goes past the hole.
Like,
well, I mean, that
literally avoids.
You kind of knew that was going to happen.
I assumed her motivation for signing the thing over was to take the guy's money, but she didn't know that her name had to be on the line in order to do that at that point.
She wanted, and she didn't even know she didn't even know really if he was going to give her the keys. Honestly, she didn't.
Right.
Like,
oh, that's right. She had to go. She went to get the key. Yeah. Oh, he wouldn't give it to her unless she signed it. Yeah. Okay, that's good point. But
that's what I was trying. That's what I thought maybe. But truth be told, Jeff, you're more correct, because she didn't ask for any key. He goes, "Oh yeah, one more thing. Here's the key." So
I thought that was the reasoning why she was doing that, is to get the key. There's I don't know. There's some weird logic, even logic in regards to the supernatural aspect of it. So
the 2 minutes seems kind of an arbitrary
thing, but then
so did the one you mentioned, Doc, which I can never remember the title of, but
Talk to Me.
Yeah,
but then I don't see it as being like Talk to Me, because no, I mean, let's be real. Talk to Me just used a hand in place of a Ouija board, if we're talking about stuff like this. But this felt completely,
or a hand instead of a Baghead lady. So.
Yeah, well, in some ways, Talk to Me is almost like Evil Dead too. So it's also playing off of other things.
Yeah, but, I'm like, everything is derivative. So, but I also, this wasn't possession. So
that's true.
She's not a person. She's a witch. Like, so I don't really consider that the same, as
sure. Well, I guess you are allowing ghosts to possess you for a little bit. So it's like a ghost being a ghost witch being.
Well, I was thinking that, you when you grab the hand and Talk to Me, somebody would appear. Here, you have a little bit more like who you're requesting to appear. But I get what there are similarities and there are things that are dissimilar. And
I know.
You bring a lot of dissimilar stuff up.
For me, it was different enough, but
I think it's different enough.
That's what I think too.
I feel like
I'm
just saying that it feels
conceptually, it's kind of cool. It's weird and kind of
but then
but
then I didn't understand how like the other ghosts would just show up. You know what I mean? So that's so I didn't understand what is the supernatural.
I was like, why is your dad there?
So you can't. So the witch can't leave the room, but then the ghost can go into other rooms.
Well, that's the witch. I think that was the witch making them see that, making
them
see that in their mind.
That's how he was manipulating her. But
I'll buy that.
The thing that freaked me out was when the witch ate whatever it was they gave him. Something about lifting that bag up and putting that in her mouth was just
throwing it all up later.
Yeah, it was.
It's like, I don't think I want that back.
Creepy, yeah.
Big black
that's
dude
why
coming
conceptually, it's kind of cool. Like that's why I don't hate this movie. It's kind of cool. It's got cool things, but
I didn't quite get to the point of yelling at the characters, but this whole idea is like, even when they find out, it's 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes, or then she takes over. So why are you not?
Why are you waiting till
standing there with the bag in your hand?
Get back in your hole.
When the bell
I'd
goes
throw that
off,
bag on there like
so
10 seconds before.
Yeah, and then they don't seem to get the answer out of her, even though I know she's going to turn vicious on me and not give me any information.
Well, there's really not any. Again, people's logic is they're not. Even the girl, she knows that she can't really trust that guy, but she still trusts him. You know,
like he shows his butt more and more and more as you learn more, and you're like, he's clearly not a good person. He's clearly
he's a red flag with 2 legs.
The moment his wife came up there, and that whole, I'd be like, nah, you gotta go.
Once he says, so who were you sleeping with?
Yes,
bets are off. You know,
that's when
and then she just
just walked up the stairs and closed the door and let the witch have him.
If I'm being honest, a person like her who continually makes all these poor choices, clearly probably wouldn't have survived to this point.
Oh my! Honestly, well, she survived because she had great friends. They only grade up to a point, and then they met their matches. All right, let's go ahead. Sorry, fridge friend. I didn't mean to do that, but anyway, let's go ahead and then wrap this up with our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. Jeff, you are up first.
Oh, this is a tough one after the stuff we've said. I like atmospheric, creepy films, and even though the story bothered me with some of the justifications or the logic, I thought this was very well done in terms of atmospheric and creeping me out. So I'm going to go 3.75.
Oh, nice.
That's what I wrote down at first. I was going to down it, but I'm going to keep it there. So, and favorite scene is also, we didn't talk about her friend, Ruby Barker, who my wife watches Bridgerton. She's a character on Bridgerton. So I was kind of keeping an eye on her. When she goes down there looking for Iris, she goes into the basement, her character, and the thing is chasing her back up, and she stops and turns around to look. I don't know. Usually those things don't bother me, that fast zoom thing, but that one got me.
Got you?
That one got me.
Jump scare. Okay.
It got me too.
It was.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that film had merits at time. All right, Crystal, you're up next. What's your score and favorite scene?
So I'm going to give it a 3. It's good. It's above mid. I said it was mid in the beginning, but but in my defense,
You're allowed.
It's fancy mid.
Fancy mid.
There we go.
Mid plus.
I like that fancy.
It's ambitious
mid. It is like it just man, that's what kills me about films. Some films, it's just on the precipice of something that could be really amazing, and then they just decide to not. I get it. Sometimes it's budget. It doesn't matter. Anyway, what's my favorite scene? Honestly, this is a hard one. I mean it. There's a lot of highs in this film, like I said, and a lot of things that I enjoyed. But when I went to try to think of my favorite scene, I had a hard time remembering a lot of things that happened. But I mean, I guess I liked when you see the dad, when Freya actually sees the dad calling on the mom. Okay. So that's a confusing thing. He's the one that's actually using, she sees, I guess, something that happened in the past. And she sees the dad with the mom. I mean, I know there's a lot of exposition there, but kind of liked it. It kind of helped you understand the father more because, he came across as what was going on with him. I did kind of enjoy that. I liked the idea. And then I did like that, the the concept of if you are not there, then people around you start dying. And, you know, I mean, that all made sense. It like stayed in its nice little box. And I like being in the box, you know, checking all of the things. So yeah, I think I like that. Plus the mom was really hot. Like I remember I can't remember what she's been in. Oh, I know that actress. Oh, Deep Blue Sea. Was it Deep Blue Sea? I believe it's Deep Blue Sea.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Well, I'm not sure.
I mean, I know the movie.
Shark film.
I know the movie. Yes, I know the movie.
I don't remember.
She's the lead? The lead?
I just remember LL Cool J.
Isn't she the lead from Deep Blue Sea?
Is she?
I feel like she is.
I remember. I'm going to look into that after the show. Christopher, you're up next. What is your score and favorite scene?
My rating is based on like Jeff said, the atmosphere and the cinematography and some of the visuals.
Crystal's right.
Well, a clock is right. Broken clock is right twice a day.
Jerk.
I'm sorry, I got possessed by some demon. So I'll give it a 3.5 because I really like.
Good.
I think the stuff that worked really worked, and as long as you put a bag over the ending, it's not so bad. Sorry, Doug.
It's not so bad.
Yeah, the parts that work really work, and I think one of my favorite parts. I guess it could be kind of funny, but it also kind of creeped me out. And I think when they have the first time they bring someone up, and the guy's mom shows up, and she's like, "Give me a kiss," and her neck like goes,
oh yeah,
and I was like, "Oh Lord." First of all, it's creepy because your mom's trying to be all incestuous in demon form. But then when her neck does that thing, I was like,
oh, yes.
I was like,
awesome.
oh crap, what is happening here? I think if we'd had more of that throughout the whole thing, but yeah, I mean, I jumped back. I was like, oh crap, put a bag on that. So yeah, I think that's probably my favorite scene because I was like, I was not expecting that because it was it had to be a visual effect, but it worked really well. It was nasty.
Yeah, they didn't give it enough of that strangeness.
Yeah, if they had more of that,
yeah.
It's just more people just talking creepy for the most part. But yeah, that part I was like, oh yeah, that really worked.
Okay, all right. Well, I was going to give this 3.5. And I wanted to mention this one actor, Ned Dennehy, who plays the solicitor in here.
Oh yes, yeah.
And if you might recognize him from Peaky Blinders or Outlander, Jeff, I bet you recognize him from Outlander.
Yep.
And
he's
a
dick.
He is, and he's usually plays one everywhere he goes. But he seems to be a nice guy himself. But yeah,
he was trying to get her away from.
He tried.
He tried.
Yep. But he was a little sketch anyway. It just comes across so sketch. But anyway, I just wanted to mention it. So it's 3.5 for me. My favorite scene. And maybe is this the same scene you picked, Crystal? Is when the dad is the person that's in the chair? When she pulls the bag off and it's the dad, and then they have.
Oh no, that's different.
And he's like, "What are you doing here?" It's an entirely right. It's an entirely different conversation than everybody else because everybody else that they woke from the dead were like, shocked about what's happening, and he knew exactly what was going on, and it was like. So, and of course, you're waiting for that 2 minutes to expire and see, how evil he's going to get, and he sure as shit does. But so I don't know. I like that. It gave us a chance to be creepy and give us exposition, set up what he was doing, and for me, that all worked. If not, then I'm gonna go with Crystal's smoking man guy. I like the scene because he looked dead when he showed up walking.
Yeah, he did. He's creepy looking, but I was like. Damn, dude.
The first time when he shows up
you don't look great.
her friend, for Freya's friend, was a really creepy moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And but one thing I thought would be creepier is when you went behind the wall, when you went down the hole. I thought it would be a little scarier, and
it's more like a maze or something.
Yeah, it didn't really
Yeah.
it live up to what I was imagining.
It looked like a bad set where they just kept running past the same part.
They might
and then when you have the spider lady, it was like, oh, this is not working.
Yeah, but I don't know what you would do. I don't know what you'd replace it with, but I was imagining it would be
expecting so much
more surreal, a lot more surreal
behind that hole, and it's like, no, thank you.
Anyway, there you go. So 3.5. I say watch it on Shudder. I think you will have a good time. This is my thing. I think you watch it and you'll have a good time. But 6 months from now, you'll probably forget that you did. So.
Yes. Yeah. I thought I watched this last year. That's how long I thought it.
Well, I think I saw the trailer last year or something, and I was doing the same thing, Chris. I was like, wait a minute, have I seen this? I think because I just seen the trailer and the trailer intrigued me.
There's just something about it. It's a lot of story. It's a lot.
But I do think the director will go on to make some really good films.
Oh,
I think
they're
quite. I don't think talent is the problem here. Yeah, I don't think talent is the problem. I think it was just.
Yeah, I agree.
Just didn't tie it all together. But all right, there you go. That's our review for Baghead playing on Shudder. Check it out and let us know what you think of it down below. We'd love to hear your comments.
Yep.
Crystal, Christopher, Jeff, thank you for joining me. It's a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Thank you for asking.
Always fun.
Always fun. All right, with that, let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.